What's up, everybody? It's Monday. Time for another Picks and Parlays Power Hour. We're down. We're done. We are done with the preseason. It is week one, fun time in the NFL. So we're going to do a little bit of NFL recap with Craig Trapp. He's also going to talk some college football with us, Illinois and Indiana. Then I'm going to bring Tim Earl on. Tim is going to do some week one NFL lines, kind of cruise through the week one slate and tell you what's up with that. And then he's also going to talk some college with Ball and Tennessee. But before any of that goes down, I need you guys to like and subscribe and ring that bell for notifications. Power Hours on every Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. So you want to ring that bell for notifications in case you forget, then your phone will remind you. It's a beautiful thing. Another thing to remember is BetMGM, our official sports book. They've still got the $1,000 risk-free first bet for all new accounts, but they've added a little bit to the pot there. If you're in Kansas, the state of Kansas, welcome to legalized sports betting. They're going to hook you up with $200 in free play money. All right. You don't even have to deposit $200 in free play money and the $1,000 risk-free first bet. You just have to download the app onto your phone, BetMGM, and then use the promo code MORNING. That's going to get you there, get you all hooked up with everything you need. Or you can just check out the description of this video and click on the link. It's just that easy. We make it easy for you people. All right, so let's start this party off with Craig Trapp. We're going to talk week 3 preseason. Mr. Trapp, are you in? Hi.
Yeah, I am in. And I don't know about you, Allie. I'm done with the preseason. I'm
So
done like, 2 minutes before game time deciding now we're not going to play or we are going to play. It's just, I don't care who sets out or who plays in these preseason games, but I think they should just have to, a day before, unless barring injury in the warmups, you tell us who's playing, especially now that they're taking all this money from, DraftKings and FanDuel and all the other sponsors that are sports books out there. You think you would, at least for your players and handicappers and people out there in the gambling world, that you would have let us know.
yeah, it's kind of a big deal. It's kind of important to know who's going to be throwing the ball when you're betting on, how many times they cross into the end zone. Okay, week 3, I agree with you completely. Glad it's over. It's not the preseason, it's like the pretend season, and I'm over it. So, week 3, who stood out to you just in preseason altogether, I would say, but preseason week 3, we knew that was kind of a big deal. So who stood out to you the most? And then we'll move into who kind of like disappointed you, if you will.
Well, overall, I thought this preseason, I was pretty surprised with a few teams. Obviously, I thought Atlanta looked way better than I expected. I thought the Falcons were, they even 28-12 against the Jaguars this week. But overall, I thought the Atlanta team looked way better. I also thought the Raiders, they finished up a very successful preseason, and they beat up on, Josh McDaniels beat up on his former coach and his former team, the Patriots, 23-6. So I thought those two teams were. And then this week, I thought the Dolphins winning 48-10 against a Eagles team that's pretty deep. So I think Miami needed that. I think they needed to show that this offense had weapons, because we know they have weapons, but they had guys, signal callers that could put the ball where it needs to be. That's all they need to do. They just need a game manager back there. So Tua and company at quarterbacks, I thought looked really good. Obviously, you score 48 points in a preseason game, you look pretty good. So I thought those were the few teams that I thought really looked good. I also think the Steelers' defense was pretty surprising to me. I thought the Lions would be able to move the ball. They really couldn't move the ball against the Steelers late last night. So the offensive line of the Steelers looked iffy, both the last 2 preseason games. But I thought the defense, which, last year they were suspect, injured a bunch. So now it's that kind of that Steelers defense that we knew. And I think they're going to be pretty good again this year.
What about teams that looked good, but they only looked good because it was in the preseason, like the Texans beating the Niners 17-0? That's really just the Niners not wanting to show all their plays, right? It's not that the Texans are actually good and the Niners are bad. This is more of a situational thing, right?
Yeah, I thought a couple things. I thought the Rams looked really bad in the preseason, but I think that was very similar to that, where they just didn't want. They have a veteran team. They do not want to go out there and get injured. So obviously, I thought they looked pretty poor in the preseason, but for purpose. Bills looked bad last week, losing 21-0, but same kind of thing.
Chargers.
Yeah, Chargers I didn't think looked great. The one team that I thought, a couple teams that haven't looked good all preseason, in my opinion, the Jaguars did not look good. I thought we would see that Jaguars team improve a ton. They didn't play a lot, so maybe we see a big thing. But the depth issue, that's what you see. I think when you see teams like the Ravens, the Ravens. One thing we didn't mention, the Ravens win streak was like 4 or 5 years now. It's gone back. They haven't lost a preseason game, continued another win on week 3 of preseason. So, but going back to the teams that struggled, these teams that are bad, have depth issues. I think that's, what you see with the Jaguars is they don't have great depth. I think the Giants and the Jets, they score 58 points between them. The defensive issues on both sides of the ball in that one, I don't think are – let's just say I don't think they're going to be stopping many people. They both better outscore people this season. So I thought those were the handful of teams that, kind of impressive, not impressive. But I always say hold it with a grain of salt. Just because I don't like somebody coming off a preseason game, that just means I might not play them week 1 because I want to really see what they have. And then other teams, maybe it just makes a team that I was going to play anyway, and they look good in the preseason, then maybe I move them up a little bit on my rankings for that week.
So give me just like for week 1, give me your top 2 teams that you definitely want to fade and you definitely want to follow.
Well, like I said, if I'm going off the preseason, the teams that I would probably stay away from week 1 would be the Jaguars. I thought the Commanders also had some issues. So staying away from those teams, not saying I'm going to play against them per se, but I'm just going to say, hey, I'm not playing those games because I didn't get a great handle. And, you can watch. Right. I get to watch all these games back. It usually takes me about an hour and a half without all the timeouts, so I can watch it through. But it's just like I didn't get a good handle on it. I don't feel like I got a good representation of what they're going to look like for week 1. Teams that I think I would at least give a little extra look for me. Like I said, I thought the Falcons looked really, really good. I was really impressed. I also thought the Raiders looked really good in the preseason and a team that, which we know. I mean, you get Josh McDaniels on a team that was already really good. You get Devontae Adams on an offense that was already really good. Like those are teams I'm looking out for week 1.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it is nice to see the Raiders doing well out the gate. And they played 4 games. So, they had a little extra in there and they kept it rolling right along. Okay, so let's shift gears. We're going to move over to college football. But first, everybody like and subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. Don't forget to do that, okay? Very important stuff. We're on every Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Do that business. Yes, sir. Okay, so talk to me about, you're going to do Illinois and Indiana. I'm showing Indiana minus 2.5, a total of 4. Oh, now it's up to a 3, total of 46.5. And we'll touch on line movement in our next segment with Tim Earl also. For all of you new handicappers rolling in who maybe don't understand how line movement works, we'll touch on that in our next segment. Craig, talk to me about Illinois at Indiana.
Well, Illinois, one of those teams that played in week 0, and they played at home against Wyoming, and Wyoming, a team that really is up against it. I mean, they fought hard, but they just don't have the horses to stay with an Illinois team that really likes to. Brett Bielema brought that Wisconsin run game that he had way back when he was at Wisconsin to Illinois. This guy likes to run the ball. He's got 4 or 5 running backs. He's going to run the ball as much as possible. He just wore that Wyoming team down. And Illinois looked good last week. I would hold it with a little bit a grain of salt. 38-6 win. You obviously are impressed, but you have to know that they were playing, a not Big Ten school. Now they face an Indiana team that, surprising that Indiana's the favorite here. Let's be honest. They were 2-10, I think it was last year, and I believe they lost 8 in a row to finish the year. They were not good, and Illinois looked good at times last year. So I was shocked when we saw this line open. I don't know about you, Allie, that Indiana was favored. I think it was 2.5. Now it's at 3. So that definitely kind of a red flag a little bit when you look at, even with Illinois winning, that the line is now still 3.
It's exactly what I thought because, a lot of times you always want to think of the last game and not all of these games we're going to have a last game to refer to, but in this one we happen to. And with watching Illinois blow out Wyoming the way they did, you would think that them getting points would be a really easy bet for a public bettor to say, oh, and now I can get 3 points with them. I don't necessarily know if that's it. So that switches my brain over to how good is Indiana? Is it just, typically 3 points is at home. So is this really just a pick'em game at that point? How really good is Indiana?
Well, off of last year's form, not impressive. And
Not
you're going to
very.
have,
Yeah.
the QB battle. Supposedly, Coach Allen, the coach for Indiana, that really had turned that program around up until last year, says he's decided who's the quarterback going to be, but he's not announcing it until game time. So I don't think it really matters to me. I think Illinois is the proven commodity, not just off of what we saw week 0, but what we saw last year. This team can run the ball. They have a solid offensive line. They're not terrible on defense. They have a slew of running backs. They're going to run 3, 4, 5 different guys at you. So they just wear you down. I think this Indiana team is not a big defensive line. I think they're going to struggle to stop Illinois. These teams don't play often, haven't played in over 5 years. I don't think it'll be a high-scoring game, but I think Illinois just wears down Indiana. I think having a game week 0 is a pretty big advantage too, especially in a game where you got some reps out there, you got to rest players. And I think Illinois is the play here. I would, to be honest, if I didn't give it out in the video, probably would be one of my better plays for Friday night. Because remember, this is a Friday night Big Ten matchup here for week 1.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the only way. Would you just money line it, or do you think the points are important?
When I'm getting 3, it's hard not to take the 3 because, it's going to be low scoring. Like, Illinois is not going to be a team that's won, even though they did score 30 plus last week. That was against Wyoming. This is probably going to be in the low 20s, I'm guessing. I would probably be leaning towards the under in this one, to be honest, on the total. But I think you get 3 on the road. That's not a terrible thing. Who knows? They're up, 16-14 late, and they give up a field goal. They lose, but you still cover it. If you wanted to sprinkle the money line, I wouldn't talk off a whole lot of people, especially on parlays. I'm a big, if I'm going to play a couple team parlays, I love playing some money line underdog parlays, because now instead of 10 paying 28, 10 could pay every 10 you might get 40, and that just juices up a parlay. So I wouldn't talk you off of the parlay money line, but as far as the pick is going, we're going to take Illinois plus the 3 on Friday night.
Yeah, I love it, because it's like you said right at the end there, having one game under your belt already, I think makes night and day kind of differences in this one. So, those first game jitters are out of you. It's time. We're ready. We're fired up. We're coming off a win. Let's go. We're motivated. Let's come and ruin some Indiana lives. Let's roll into Bloomington and ruin some lives. I like it. All right, Craig Trapp. Well, thank you so much for coming on the Power Hour. I know we can find all of your premium plays over at picksandparlays.net. We're going to use that promo code NFL to save 20% off whatever you buy from Craig Trapp, or just whatever you buy on the site. Craig, what do you think the most bang for your buck is? I know we do an all sports pass, all NFL pass, all college football passes. This is really that time of the season or the year when our viewers who like to buy premium plays, where you can get a really big pass for a really good deal. Tell them a little bit about that.
Well, we have all the guys you see on the videos daily. We've got football passes up for either college. If you just want to bet college football, you're just an NFL bettor, or if you just bet football in general, you can find those up at the site. Of course, if you like my plays, you follow my daily 5 free bets that I do every day at YouTube, Twitter, wherever you follow me social media wise, and you can get that discounted even more so for my rest of 2022 pass. So just for you guys that are listening now, go over to my free pick video every day and get in on that.
Yes. So lots of value to be handled right now, to be gotten. I don't know I'm trying to use a word. It's not there.
I don't know about gotten, but okay.
Attained.
Yes.
Attained. How about that?
All right.
You got it. All right. So yes, head over to picksandparlays.net. The promo code is NFL. Check out the site, shop around, use the leaderboards. It's all there. It's a really solid site we've got over there. I do love our site. All right, Craig Trapp, I will see you next week on the Power Hour. Have a great day, friend. All right, up next, I've got Timothy Earl coming in. We're going to talk some line movement. We're going to look ahead into week 1 of the regular season, and we're going to talk a little bit about Ball State and Tennessee matchup coming up this weekend. Before we do, I want to remind everybody, the Picks and Parlay Power Hour, it is on every Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, so like and subscribe, ring the bell for notifications so you never miss us, and don't forget about our sponsor, BetMGM. Download that app and use the promo MORNING. All right, Tim Earl, paging Tim Earl, Timothy Earl.
He is not available at the time. He might be able. No.
Do you happen to have anyone that looks exactly like him that could maybe sub it?
Negative.
What's going on, Tim? How you feeling today?
Oh, I'm good. We're getting right into some football. It's the exciting time of the year. I'm down for it. I'm ready for it.
All jazzed up. You guys are in the Circa contest. I know you're really excited about that. Earl Sports Bet.
Got my $1,000 hat ready to go.
Woo! Yep, only $1,000 to buy that hat.
Oh yeah.
Did they give you both one, or you only got one?
No, they did not. We only got one.
You needed me. I just walked up to the counter last year and was like, hey, I need a Circa hat. I'm in the contest. And they gave me one that I mailed to Nick. But at least both of you have one now.
Well, the problem was apparently they had the flood the week before, and apparently a bunch of them got ruined during that time, so they needed to be a little bit stingy before they got more.
That's fair. Okay, that's fair, Circa. Circa's a good book. They're a really good book and good lines, good contest. So, all right, I forgive you, Circa. Okay, so let's do a little bit of talking about NFL Week 1. Like Craig said, kind of got to take the preseason with a grain of salt. Some of the really good teams are hiding their best plays and best players. Some of the really bad teams are just kind of like letting it all out and see what happens, see where the cards fall. Just real quick, anyone in Week 1, and then we'll talk about line movement too. Anyone in Week 1 that you are definitely going to be all over or definitely going to completely fade?
I mean, there's a couple of them that me and Nick kind of looked at and go, all right, I really like them, really like them. I think one of our favorite plays is the Cardinals. As crazy as it sounds, taking them plus the 3 points at home versus Kansas City Week 1. I know a lot of people are going to see, Kansas City only 3 or only 3.5, whatever they're at. And Cardinals, I'm going to be a lot higher on the Cardinals than a lot of people, me and Nick are, than a lot of people. So I kind of like that. I'm kind of with Lenny. I really like the Raiders this year. I'm kind of going to be high on them as well. And I think one of the biggest, I don't want to say trap games or wipeout games or whatever, Monday Night Football. And we'll talk about that one in a little bit. I really like the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Just a couple of them we're kind of looking at. But when you take preseason, take it and throw it out the window. I really don't. It doesn't matter for regular season for me.
Yeah, it really does not. So let me go through a couple games where the line movement has been important thus far. Now, we got to remember that these lines came out when the NFL schedule came out. So they've been out about 2 months or so now.
Roughly, yeah.
Would you say? Okay. So for anyone who doesn't know how the line movement is working, basically it's telling you where the money is going, right? So say we'll take the Saints. Well, give me a game where the line is moving, and then I'll tell them.
Thursday night game.
What is the Thursday
night? Buffalo Bills and the Rams, because I know the Rams opened up as favorites.
I have it at Rams +1, but that might have been a -1 because now, like we said, time has gone so far.
Oh, yeah.
So for this example, if you have a game like the Rams -1, and now you're looking at the line and it's a Rams +2.5, which is what I'm seeing now, tell the people, what does that tell you about what's happening with the money?
It's telling me a lot of people love Buffalo. That, or the books really like the Rams, and they want people to keep betting up Buffalo. It tells me one of two things, because do you know where the money is coming in on them? Like, do you have those numbers? Or because that either one of two things is happening here. Either a lot of people are betting Buffalo and a lot of money's coming in on Buffalo, or a lot of money's coming in on the Rams and they keep raising Buffalo. And it could kind of be like a reverse line movement or whatever is going on there. But the way it looks like for me is that a lot of people are super, super high on the Bills this year, and they're just going after Buffalo.
Does that make the Bills like a big fade for you this season? Like, I know everyone's very high on. It's not necessarily like they shouldn't be, because I mean, there's good reason for it. Yeah, there's good reason for it. But is it one of those things where that line's going to be all inflated all season long, and you've got to be careful about it?
Yeah, I think Buffalo's going to be kind of a similar deal to a Los Angeles Lakers or a New York Yankees. Like because I'm in the bigger teams, and I think the line's going to get inflated just a tad too much. Now, will there be spots to bet Buffalo? Of course, but betting them every single week, I don't think it's going to work out too nicely for everybody. Just because I feel like there's going to be some weeks where they should be 7-point favorites, and because they're the Buffalo Bills, they'll be like 10 or 11-point favorites, and it's just way too much and they don't cover. So Bills, I feel like, are going to be one of those teams that you're going to like there's the Yankee tax, the Laker tax, the Cowboy tax. You're going to get a little bit of
Packer
a
tax.
Buffalo Bills tax this year.
Right. Okay, so just to answer your question about where the money is on that game, it's the Bills. It opened at +1, right? So Bills getting 1 point.
Yeah.
Like 77% of the cash is on the Bills. So that means as the money rolls in, it goes to Bills at a pick'em. It goes to Bills now a -1. Now we're at a -2. 2.5 is what we're at now. 65% of the tickets and 77% of the cash is on the Bills.
Then that line
So
movement makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I personally probably lean a little bit towards the Bills in this one. I know during the preseason, Nick looked for teams that turned from slight dogs to slight favorites and went after that because normally that meant, but that was in the preseason. I don't know if that's necessarily going to work out as well for us in the regular season. We'll see. But for me in this one, I would kind of lean towards Buffalo, but I know the strongest play that me and Nick are going to have is the under.
Okay. I do that with baseball, though. I mean, like a little dog that goes into a little favorite, I'll typically jump on that little favorite now because some sharp money has moved that over. That's what that line is telling me is some money has moved that over. The Ravens, another great example, opened at a 4.5. Now they are at a 7 with 82% of the money and 86% of the tickets on them. So that a lot of big jumps happening here. And again, the lines came out a long time ago. So there's been a lot of time for them to move around.
And I would be a little bit careful with that Baltimore line because Zach Wilson is still not considered in or out for week 1. So that's another thing to keep an eye out for is any injuries over the preseason and stuff. So that line probably jumps. Sure, a lot of money's on the Ravens. But if Zach Wilson is starting that game, I feel like there's definitely some value on the Jets.
Yeah. Well, and a big reason, that line moved so much is because he is out. So,
he's not confirmed out yet.
Right.
He's still questionable or doubtful or whatever he is at this point, but they have not officially ruled him out for week 1 yet. So that's going to be something we have to keep an eye on.
So what happened with the Browns at the Panthers? The Panthers opened at a +4.5, and now they're a favorite at a -2. 60% of the money and 71% of the tickets. What's going on with the Browns?
Watson. I guess they went from oh, we might be playing to oh, he's not playing to oh crap. Now Baker Mayfield left. He's no longer starting. Oh, he's on Carolina now. That one is a game that at this point it's grabbing Carolina or it's doing absolutely nothing with it because the Browns they are in this weird spot. Obviously, we got to keep in mind cuts and stuff are within the next couple of days. We'll see where certain players get moved and stuff like that. And see whether or not Cleveland wants to go after another quarterback because I think they have Jacoby Brissett is their backup, I believe, which is yikes if that's the case. So they might be looking to try to get somebody. I know Jimmy G might get cut soon because that's a big contract. But for this one right now, I would kind of have to lean towards Baker and the revenge factor on the Panthers. But you missed your line. I wanted to get them at plus money if I wanted to actually go after it. Now at -2.5, I don't know if there's any value on that one.
There's always in play. Last one we'll talk about is the Monday night game. This is definitely the game I'm most excited about, but because we touched on it earlier and just because I see where the lines are at now, it was Broncos -3.5. It's now Broncos -6.5. 97% of the cash and 90% of the tickets are on the Broncos. That line is moving the right way. I get it. Russ is back in Seattle. There's going to be a throwdown. Seahawks have, had their issues in quarterbacks, stuff like that. But that's a crap ton of money to be on one side. I don't think Las Vegas wants to pay out 97% of the bettors when it comes down to this, which would make me lean Seahawks all day long. And especially now I'm almost getting a touchdown. Notice it still hasn't hit 7 yet. So break that down just a little bit further.
I love the 6.5 number because people look at the Broncos and I know Higgs says this all the time. He sees the 6.5. Oh, they only have to win by a touchdown. Only. No, I'm all over the Seahawks. 97% of money, you said? Man, what can go wrong there?
Yeah.
No, that one's going to be the complete just kill everybody's parlay.
84% of the picks.
I guarantee Seahawks at whatever plus points you're going to get, that's going to be one of me and Nick's 5 circa picks. I guarantee it. It's a Monday night game. I know Seahawks is one of our favorite plays of the week. And the fact that the line keeps moving up and moving up and moving up and getting more points, I'm totally down for. Seahawks at home, I know they're not supposed to be good this year. If Geno Smith or Drew Lock can do enough, they've got a good receiving core still with DK Metcalf and Lockett. I think they'll be able to do enough to keep this game close, and this one's an under. I think this one's a low-scoring, like 17-14 game, and I wouldn't even mind going Seahawks money line in this game just because a lot of people will have Denver Broncos money line all over their Monday parlays.
Yeah.
And you said 97% of the money. Vegas knows what they're doing. There's a reason why they keep making it more appetizing. I'm all over the Seahawks.
All right. I'm going to tail on that one. I'm with you here. I mean, I feel like the Seahawks know Russ a lot better than the Broncos know the Seahawks, and that's just it.
You know who knows Russ the best in the NFL?
Pete
How
Carroll.
about the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks, Pete Carroll? Yeah, he's going to know how to counter him. And I'm gonna be honest.
And he's a defensive guy. That's really where his bread and butter is. Pete Carroll's a defensive guy. So let me write up a couple plays just for you, Russell. Just for you. And I like Russ. I don't want to talk smack. I live in Washington. Love the Seahawks. Love Russ. Best of luck to you. But in this particular matchup, it's gonna be a little fun.
It's Seahawks. I think the Broncos finished last in the division.
Oh. Bold. Okay, so let's talk some college football here. Ball State at Tennessee. Tennessee minus 34.5 points. I've got 68.5, 67 for you. So it's ticked down a little bit, or maybe it's ticked up depending on the timing of when these numbers were found. But that's all aside. This goes down Thursday, September the 1st. What do you think about this one, Tim?
Oh, boy. Ball State's not going to be good this year. Even in the MAC, they're not going to be a good team this year. They brought back a couple of players, but nothing crazy. They didn't really get much out of the transfer portal. And I'm high on Tennessee. I think Tennessee will be ranked maybe 10 to 15 by the end of the year. I think they'll definitely have a nice bowl. They'll have a nice season. They get 2 opportunities to face 2 of the best teams in the nation in Alabama and Georgia this year. We'll see how those go. But I'm a little bit higher on Tennessee. Now, there is 0 chance I'm going to come out here and say take Tennessee minus 34.5. None. Absolutely none.
Because you missed your best number there, too. It opened at a 28, so you missed your best number on that one,
you missed a bad number.
Yeah.
That being said, I think that Tennessee absolutely blows them out. I don't think that Ball State scores a touchdown against them, to be completely honest.
Ooh.
And when it comes to it, I know you should look ahead spots. Tennessee goes up against Pitt next week, or the week after, their second week. I don't really know if that's a look ahead spot. Granted, does Tennessee really want to go out there and rack up 60 points by themselves against Ball State and show a bunch of their plays when they still have to play Alabama and Georgia and all those big teams this year? I think the backups will be in by the 3rd, 4th quarter. This has got like 45-10 written all over it. And that being said, I'm going to go under. I really just don't think Ball State can do anything. Tennessee should have a good enough defense to be able to corral them and be able to slow them down. An SEC team, we saw what happened with Vandy versus Hawaii. I don't think that this is going to be as high scoring. I also don't think Ball State scores. So I'm going to go under the 67.5. I would lean towards Tennessee, but for me, I can't lay 34.5 points. That's just not going to happen.
I was kind of looking into the props on this one, and there's just nothing really great. Tennessee team to score first. Tennessee's a minus 625. 3 straight scores by either team stood out to me because you said I don't think the ball scores at all, but the yes on that would be a minus 667.
Yeah, because they
so
think Tennessee
lots of
just goes
juice
all out.
everywhere. I was kind of really looking for a team total. If I could take a ball team total under, since you think they're going to score 0, then maybe ball team total under.
I don't know. They can get some field goals, but I don't know if they get into the end zone. That's the big thing. If they do, it's because of a lapse in coverage and they end up getting a long one. But I just don't see it, and I don't have any team totals. So
I don't either. All right, so Undertaker is what we're going to do for that. There is 64% of the tickets are on the under, and 91% of the cash is on the under. It's gone from 69.5 to a 68, which means the line is moving in the right way, or 67.5 now. The line's moving in the right way to take an under. So I like that play. I like it. All right, book it. Somebody write that down. Write that down. Oh, wait, there it is. Right there. Okay,
It's down there. So we're good. We're good.
Got it. Perfect. Perfect. Everybody stand off. Stand as you were. Okay. All right, Tim, thank you so much for coming on the Power Hour. Great job today. Tell the people over at Earl Sports Bets, what are you guys up to?
Oh, lots of football now. I'm excited for it. We get our first real week coming out. We got a pack already. I'll be at the East Carolina game on Saturday, so I'm super pumped up for it. NFL next week. Baseball, hopefully that can get turned around. WNBA's getting close to the finals now, and CFL is still going along. So lots of stuff coming up with NBA and NHL and all that good stuff eventually too. And eventually our favorite season, college basketball.
Yes, yay, let's go. Oh, I can't wait. And it's fun that you guys are East Carolina and I'm Houston and Craig Trapp is Cincinnati and we're all in the American Conference and we all just get to start talking shit to each other like real people again, like real sports fans do, all right?
Yes.
Baseball season has been boring as far as the crap talk goes. Let me just say that.
Yeah, of course.
All right, Tim, thank you so much. I'll see you next time on the Power Hour.
Sounds good.
All right, guys, I'm Allie Burns from Picks and Parlays. Don't forget, like, subscribe, ring the bell for notification. Check out our sponsor, BetMGM. Download the app. Use the promo code MORNING. Reap the rewards of the promotions. $1,000 in a risk-free first bet and an extra $200 in free play if you're in the state of Kansas. Don't forget, check us out every Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern right here at Picks and Parlays and the Max Wagers Network. Good luck.